365 Sports is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/365 and get on your way to being your best self. What are some things you want to keep the same about yourself or your life in 2024? Were you already crushing it? Think opposite of New Year, New You. Around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Maybe you finally organized one part of your space and you want to tackle another, or maybe you're taking your supplements every morning and now you want to actually eat breakfast too. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. BetterHelp.com is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/365 today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/365.
Are you a true fan of true crime? Well, if you've got the time, Hulu has the true crime. That's right, Hulu is your partner in true crime. With shows like Cold Case Files, Wild Crime Blood Mountain, Accused Guilty or Innocent, Torso Killer Confessions, and lots more forensic favorites, Hulu has everything you need for a night of you time with some true crime. Hulu, your partner in true crime.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour. Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody happy hour.
Thirsty ho.
I'm thirsty ho, April. Could you pour me a drink?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Woo! Sippy, sippy,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, April the President. It's supposed to be Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
Did you like that? Did you like
Thank
that?
you. Yeah, it's almost good ASMR and pornish, porn voice.
I knew you would love it.
You're like Jessica Rabbit.
I know. I've been told that several times.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline, and we're celebrating April's birthday because it's the whole month of April because that's her name. Did you get all that?
Yes. Celebrating, we're drinking on some Jim Beam honey.
Beam.
I just opened up on the last episode.
I think we're already drunk.
From producer Mike. And obviously, we got some Fireball.
Oh, we're going to need this for this story because let me tell you, I hope you're not eating.
Get your, hope my guacamole doesn't come up. Get your
maybe you should
drinks
eat
ready.
Spaghetti while listening. And if you didn't listen last week, then you should because then you won't get the joke.
Well. I'm so excited about where. Wait, can I tell you one thing first?
Please tell me all the things. What do you do for your birthday? What's going on? What's the latest? Update us. This is our long episode. We can talk. Even though you don't really like.
Well, I told them last episode that I'm going to New Orleans. So if you don't listen to the quickies, we're going to New Orleans this weekend for my birthday. And do y'all remember the Zach and Addie episode?
Yes.
That is the one I got inspired with last time I went to New Orleans. So I'm going to be digging for some NOLA cases so that I can visit the places.
What about on your
Get voodoo put on me.
To there.
Well, we're stopping a night at Lake Charles, so maybe there's a good murder in Lake Charles.
Are you going to go
that's
visit
what I always do.
Angel? I don't know her name. Basketball players? The LSU?
Reese?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you going to do this?
We do Baton Rouge on the way back. So maybe I'll find Angel Reese.
Okay. Well, I'll go find Caitlin Clark in Iowa.
You kind of look like her, actually.
She can hit those threes.
God,
man.
they're
That
both
was
badass players.
Listen, this is what's funny is I had no idea. Like,
controversy corner right now. We're not trying to piss anybody off.
This isn't controversy corner. This is I watched the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I was like, when did the men play?
I don't know. I didn't even know that game was playing.
I know. I totally missed the men's game because I had no idea because I don't even know who's playing in it.
Uh-huh.
But everybody knew the women's way trumped the men's, which I was kind of proud of that.
Yeah.
Because
of
typically
badass.
I don't watch any women's games, but I watched the championship.
Yeah.
And then I even know who's playing or when. Anyways, I was like,
it's because of Mulkey. Like she brings the fire. So I think
she's been there for 2 years and she turned this whole thing around.
Uh-huh.
She's like Pat Henry. That was my coach in track, and he turned around our program.
Oh, shout out to Pat Henry.
He did. He was the LSU coach. He won 25 national championships there. He came to A&M after, he recruited an all-star crew, myself included. And within a year, he
turned it around.
Completely transformed it. It was a total transformation.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well,
so there you go.
It was a great game. I love that. This is what I hate. Let bitches be bitches on the field. It's sports. Why are we bitching about how they win when men can do the weirdest things on the field? People keep throwing out classy. Win with class. Bitch, it's not a debutante ball.
It was trending on Twitter. It was like no class and classless.
It's not a debutante ball. It is women's basketball. They basically wear jock straps.
Well, I don't understand is yes. I mean I am agreeing with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hypocrites. Just hypocrites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just used her own. It's like when you watch wrestling, right?
People are like, why are women acting like this? And you're like, well, you're saying what's a woman? So what are you talking about? What does
it have to do with anything? How come women can't be passionate about winning and losing like men can?
I don't know.
Period.
Women aren't even women.
Well, I assume they are. We're not allowed to say women anymore.
Stop saying it.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hi, and welcome to Bustles and Bangers with your hostess, Rachel and Christopher.
I love it when you say my name.
And you didn't say hi.
I didn't. You just kept going. I'm going to introduce the book. I'm not reading it. It's because I don't like reading.
Girls like cowboy butts, and those jeans don't hide anything. Find us on Instagram at Bustles and Bangers or on roguemedianetwork.com.
Hola, yo soy Jackie.
Y yo soy Jessica.
Y esto es Zona del Crimen. Un podcast donde hablaremos sobre casos de crímenes reales
y eventos impactantes que han quedado marcados a través del tiempo. Recuerden que nos pueden seguir en Facebook, Instagram
o donde escuches tus podcasts favoritos.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those too also.
We are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Okay.
Are we a political podcast? Are we Controversy Corner?
But it's happy hour and you talk about shit at happy hour.
I know. So I hope
sorry
you like
if we
it.
get off of true crime every once in a while, but you're welcome.
Because we're going to get a lot of it in a second.
Shout out to our Bloody Happy Hour cups. Yes. We love them. And if you want one, you can go to Idle Hands Crafts in More, letter N, on Facebook and order one.
Grace.
N as in Nancy. Grace. Or you can email her at gmail.com, idlehandscraftsinmore@gmail.com.
It's
Caroline's
beautiful,
stroking
it's
it.
smooth. You can stroke it.
It's perfect.
And it's basically perfect. It's everything you ever wanted in a man.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're jealous right now.
Yeah.
Somebody's jealous of the way you're stroking that cup.
You know, I am.
Where are we going today?
Bitch, we're going to Houston.
Houston?
Yes, a suburb of Houston.
Houston, we have a problem. I love it.
We are going to visit you. I'm taking you back to Texas. You've been going to Texas for the past 5 months. Now I'm venturing over to this giant, amazing
I'll allow
state.
you to visit.
This is the best. So this is a suburb called Atascocita. And just
with the A? Start with the A? Yeah.
And I want to show you that I wrote the enunciations so I wouldn't stumble.
Okay.
Are you proud?
Yes.
Everybody take a drink because you're going to need it when I tell you some of these details. And it's not gory. It's gross.
I like the gross.
November 4th, 1994, 33-year-old mother of 3, Farah Fratta, was shot twice in the head and was killed as she was driving into her driveway to her house.
Okay.
She was coming home. I think she got her hair done or something. She was coming home. It was about 8:00, and her estranged husband, they weren't divorced yet, but they were separated. He had the kids, and he was gone, and he was supposed to bring the kids over to her once she got home. She was like, hey, I'm home, bring the kids. So the kids were not with her. The estranged husband was not with her. Okay. So she goes into the driveway, she opens the garage, and she parks the car, opens the door, and then a man approaches her, comes as she's getting out of the car. And
her own garage?
Yes. In her own garage, and shoots her twice. And the second shot was execution style. Oh. Yes. And so he then fled and ran to a car that was just right nearby down the road. The car was on. He gets in the passenger side door and they drive away.
What?
And the neighbors saw the whole thing.
Saw it all. Everybody has a ring these days. What year were you in?
They saw it visually.
Oh.
They saw it. It said the neighbors saw her pulling into the driveway, and then they heard a shot, and then they heard the second shot and saw her get shot in the head, and this was the very, very quick 911 call.
Shout out to all you nosy neighbors.
I just saw a shooting, please.
Okay, do you know if anybody's been shot?
Yes, I see the lady. I see her in her garage right now.
Is somebody shot?
Yes. Do you need us in the ambulance? She's down. There's still a person out there. There's a black gentleman. He's got a black shirt and a black pants. The lady is down in her garage. She's been shot 2 times. There are 2 shots. Oh, dear. Okay.
Oh, that's it?
A black gentleman with black shirt.
Black on black on black.
On black. What's the girl? The victim. What color is she?
Oh, she's white.
She's white.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Oh, just wait. So, it just so happens. Yeah. So Farah was,
and that's a young voice. I was picturing like some old lady.
It sounded like a young little girl. She's probably just has a young little voice. Maybe she's older. I don't know. Who knows? So she's still alive when the medics get there, but by the time she gets to the hospital, she passes away. So they start investigating. Officers are like, okay, what's the motive? Who does this? Obviously, who do you go to first?
Husband.
Clearly. And they're like, she wasn't robbed. She wasn't assaulted, sexually assaulted, nothing. And so they're like, what? She wasn't, like, there was no break-in.
Hired killing.
Could it be? Could it be? And they're like, well, this is what happened. She pulled into the garage. The killer came from inside the house.
Oh,
he was already in. How did he get in the house? And of course, Robert Fratta, Robert, aka Bobby, he goes by Bobby. He is the number one suspect, and he is the estranged husband.
Okay.
So they were married for 11 years. 3 kids, 7-year-old Bradley, 6-year-old Daniel, and 4-year-old Amber. It's like echoing. And then in 1994, which was the time of the murder, the year of the murder, that's whenever they were in the middle of this nasty, contentious divorce and custody battle.
Custody, okay.
But, so she was 33 at the, like, when she was shot and when she died.
It's too young.
So what was even worse is that they were in the middle of this custody battle and he didn't even want custody of him.
He just wanted to fight with her?
Yes. So let me tell you a little bit about Farah. She was born August 5th, 1961 in Guildford, England.
Wait, what color's Robert?
Oh, they're both white.
Okay.
And they're both good looking.
Okay.
So she grew up in Guildford, England, or was born there, and then she grew up in Croydon, South London. I don't know. Sounds nice to me. I want to go. Well, she was very popular, and she got along like with all of her friends, whatever. There's no reports of her being bubbly.
I was gonna say, was she joyful and
she
bubbly?
was not bubbly as far as my research took me. There was no bubbliness. She graduated from high school, went to college, graduated from college. She started working at a travel agency. And then around this same time, she got engaged to this boyfriend that she was dating. Okay. So she was really close with her parents. She was kind of a daddy's girl. And then her parents were like, oh, we're going to move to Houston. And so apparently she really didn't love her fiance because she was like, bye, I'm going to Houston.
Oh, yeah, peace out. She probably should have stayed with him.
And so she leaves this guy behind. They're still engaged, but she leaves him and she goes to live in Houston. She's going to try to make it work. So she gets there. It's been about a week. She just started like applying for jobs. And within 1 week of living there, she gets the job with American Airlines as the travel agent.
Okay.
She's charming. She has a great personality. She's charismatic.
Yeah.
She's maybe the killer? No, because that's all the qualities of the killers normally. So I feel like the accent probably helped.
Yeah, and she's probably looks good, and she probably has a great resume. And
yeah, but I think if you have an accent, it always helps.
Okay.
Even if you're real dumb, you sound smarter if you have an accent.
Okay.
I'm working on developing.
But only if it's not a, like, is it specific accents?
Oh, like a English accent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Only.
No,
That's
not
the only
if it's
accent
German. No. No, I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. No offense. I'm half German, so it's fine. Can you tell? I'm actually, I don't know what I am. But I do know I'm like 2% black, or African. It's probably just Czech. Anyway, she's working at American Airlines and she meets this guy, Bobby Fratta.
Bobby.
He's a police officer from Missouri City.
Red flag.
So he's the officer in Missouri City. So if you're looking at Houston.
Oh, that's in
Texas.
Texas.
A perfect world, I would have a map up of Houston and I would point you exactly to where.
Where's that technology
Missouri City.
at?
So you have Houston and then you have, I wrote this down. I don't know why I'm looking. Southwest Houston is where Missouri City is. And kind of the opposite, diagonally, up and across, northeast Houston is where Atascocita.
Okay.
Atascocita. I don't have my pronunciation. That's where that place is. So they're directly on opposite sides of Houston.
And Houston's big.
And Houston's huge. Bobby's handsome. He's charming. He's a bodybuilder. He's a police officer.
Oh, red flag. Small penis, small
penis, steroids, all of the things. Oh, gosh, it's got to get worse. Just keep drinking.
There's 3. I already got 3 red flags for Bobby.
Yeah. So he's kind of a ladies' man, and some of her coworkers warn her against, like, seeing him, which obviously that means run faster to him.
Yes. In Caroline's mind.
Wave the red flag, and I will, like, don't push the button. I'm going to go see how fast I can push it. Right? I mean, who doesn't do that? Anybody? Bueller? Just me. Okay, thanks. So, yeah, all the warnings. She was like, no, I'm still going to go out with him anyways because I want to see how small his penis is. Well, at this point, she decided she broke off her engagement. Oh, I'm so shocked. Yeah. So she ends up with Bobby. They get married. Within 3 years, they have 3 kids.
No.
Another red flag.
Yeah.
Running faster towards it.
Wait, how long did they date before they got married? Oh, okay.
Couldn't tell you. But
probably the next day.
Yeah, probably.
Let's just go ahead and add that red flag.
Yes.
Probably soon.
So life's going great. I mean, you got all these kids now. I mean, who doesn't love that? All this living your best life, right? And then, you know what happens? Shit hits the fan. April, fill us up because this is where your payback comes into play. Because when I say shit hits the fan.
Is it literal shit?
I'm not going to go into too much detail about Bobby's proclivities or fantasies or kinks. But, or fetishes. And I know we don't, I said this earlier, we don't kink shame.
No.
We welcome all the kinks.
We laugh at every single one
we
of
want to hear
everything.
about them. We want to talk about them. We don't do them, but we're like, tell me about what is your kink.
Yeah, we're
wow.
We know what the K stands for in LGBTQIAP.
K. Exactly. But April, I will not co-sign on this kink. And I don't know if you will, but I'm ready for you to tell me if you will.
Tell us the name. What is it again?
Coprophilia.
I'm scared. I'm real scared.
Okay. Now, everybody, this is your warning.
Does that have something to do with the Blumpkin?
It's worse. And if you don't know what Blumpkin is, go listen to episode 32. I don't know.
This might be why my cousin told me she stopped listening because we got too vulgar.
He liked to eat poo-poo.
Oh, eat it?
Feces. Excrement. The poo to the poo. But that's not all, April. According to the divorce filings, and I quote, he wanted to watch his wife. I'm going to be a news reporter. He wanted to watch his wife engage in lesbian sexual activities, have her defecate in his mouth, urinate on him, and choke him while he masturbated, and hit him in the stomach while he masturbated, and wanted to perform such acts on a daily basis.
What? But listen, he didn't just start doing that after they had 3 kids.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, now, Farah, really? You're just going to say this just started after y'all been together for 11 years?
You knew that 11 years and
I was
3
like,
months ago.
I don't know. To me, I feel like she had to have done it unless he could have developed it all of a sudden.
No.
Could have been
head trauma, CTE, steroids.
I don't know how anybody taking steroids that makes you want to eat poo.
It's a good reason for a divorce.
I don't.
Her ex,
I've heard of.
She's dead, but her ex up there in the old country is probably like, what? You left me for somebody
this shitty guy? Because April, their marriage really went down the toilet. What a piece of shit. Any more puns?
They're coming.
So, Farah kicked him out of the house because now he's literally shitting everywhere. I mean, everything's just going to shit. Okay. So this is where he's like, he doesn't want to pay child support. He doesn't want to have custody of the kids, but he's still going to fight her on it. Okay.
Listen, you did this for 11, like
he wants to drag it out.
I'm just picturing, she shat in his mouth. And then what do? Get up and go brush your teeth and then kiss him goodnight? Or what if he goes and kisses the kids goodnight? Imagine like when his kids grow up and find out.
How do you poop on demand?
Oh, I don't know. You don't have a clockwork time every day at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, but what if you're like doing it and you're like, oh, who wants... You're like,
you don't need the toilet.
I need to wait. Okay, I'm like, if my poop time is 8 a.m. and I'm like, hey, it's almost poop time. Let me do it in your mouth. And then while I masturbate,
lay in the bathtub while I squat over you. I don't know. I can't. Okay, stay with this, people.
Okay, so she kicks him out. He's trying to not have to pay child support, but he wants to get custody, and he's trying to drag it out as long as possible, and blah, 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 everything the worst. And the number one thing he doesn't want is for this to become public, but she's making this shit public.
Yeah.
Stuff public. So, court case begins, and after just, this was a few months before her death, there was an intruder. A masked man comes in, breaks in through the window, and starts attacking her with a stun gun and does this in front of her kids. Okay, so this is prior to her being murdered.
Okay, say it again.
This is once they started the divorce proceedings. They're doing the custody stuff. She gets, an attacker comes, busts through the window, tries to get her with a stun gun, and does this purposefully in front of the kids.
Oh.
I'm assuming it's because he's going to be like, oh, she's unsafe, like unfit, and she's not safe.
Or the kids will feel unsafe now to be there.
Yes. So they never caught the guy. He fled, but apparently the cops believe that Bobby was behind this whole incident. I don't know if this was after the fact or this is kind of leading up to it. So 4 months.
And they're his co-workers because he's a cop, right?
Yes.
So his co-workers are like,
I don't know because they live in Estancia. I already forgot what this place is called. And then he's the cop in Missouri City. So it is very far. Okay. I don't know.
He's traveling to his job every day then.
I mean, that's got to be, I don't know the distance, but it is far. But
plus Houston traffic makes it.
Plus
probably a 2-hour
he's
drive.
always at the gym and he's doing steroids and all this stuff. So 4 months later, after she was broke into, that's whenever she was murdered. And they are like, definitely we think it's the husband. Like the police think it is him. But the only problem is he had an alibi, an airtight alibi. Any guesses where what
he was with the black guy that was dressed in all black at the gym?
No, he
was
at
spotting
church.
him. Oh, he's at church.
Yeah, he at a church.
The one time a year he went to church?
Yeah, he's in Humble, Texas. He's at church.
Did he go to
with the kids?
Who else went to church in Humble, Texas? Andrew Yates.
Oh, Lord.
Maybe. Did he take his chorophilia to the confession to father and confess his?
Don't think he did because he probably didn't think it was a sin.
Oh.
I mean, he might have, but he might have not. So the night of the murder, so he obviously couldn't have been the one to pull the trigger because he's at church. The night of the murder, his car was searched. Bobby's.
Yeah.
They find $1,000 in cash in the glove box. They're like, what is this for? And he's like, oh, I'm getting my carpet replaced.
Okay. $1,000 of cash in the glove box. And he's getting a carpet in his car replaced or carpet in his house?
Bitch, I don't know. He has poop brain. I can't tell you. Clearly, it's payoff money.
What are the side effects of eating?
Clearly, it's being Bobby Fratta.
So who?
I got another one for you. Okay.
Who killed
Here
somebody
is some
on
interview.
$4,000?
Here is a clip of him in one of his police interviews. Okay.
365 Sports is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/365 and get on your way to being your best self. What are some things you want to keep the same about yourself or your life in 2024? Were you already crushing it? Think opposite of New Year, New You. Around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Maybe you finally organized one part of your space and you want to tackle another, or maybe you're taking your supplements every morning and now you want to actually eat breakfast too. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. BetterHelp.com is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/365 today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/365.
Slack presents scheduling a meeting.
Let's talk this afternoon. How's to? Question mark? Sorry, I've got a conflict. What about 3?
Can't. Client call. 4:30?
I'm blocked. 12:45?
There's a briefing for the briefing at that time.
3:47?
5:03?
I have 30 seconds available between 2:59 and 3.
I can do 4:50. Nope, it just disappeared.
Maybe they won't notice if I'm on 2 calls at once.
Wait, what if we just huddled right now?
Oh, now's good.
Hey,
Rob,
Tim.
nice to hear your voice.
You too.
Huddle without the hassle in Slack. Don't just ride the index, seek to outperform it with Fidelity Active ETFs. Learn more at fidelity.com/active ETFs. Before investing in any exchange-traded fund, you should consider its investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Contact Fidelity for a prospectus, an offering circular, or if available, a summary prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. While active ETFs offer the potential to outperform an index, these products may more significantly trail an index as compared with passive ETFs. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
No matter your motivation, your reason to run is yours, and only yours. Feeling a little competitive? Make it a race. Want to high-five complete strangers? Go for it. Pretending to be annoyed at a stoplight, even though it's giving you that much-needed breather? Well played. Point is, we're here to help you keep showing up for you. Your goals, your pace, your gear. It's your run. Brooks, run happy. Shop now for running shoes and apparel at brooksrunning.com. Tap the banner to get started.
At Salesforce, we're all about asking more of AI. Questions like, where's the data going? Is it secure? Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? Get answers you can trust from Salesforce at askmoreofai.com.
Did you originally like Kink? No, I did not. And I'll put it this way too. I mean, if anything happens to her, that's one of the things I was thinking about on the way over here. Is like, what the hell am I going to do now? I mean, me battling for custody was ultimately relying on her to be paying me child support at $600-700 a month. Why did she want a divorce? I guess to sum it up, basically, there was no romance and affection in our marriage. It was more like, I mean, I loved her. I provided for her, took care of her and everything, but I guess we just weren't in love with each other, And whereas to me, I was able to handle it and I guess just told her, look, cope with it. What's the big deal? We don't have the best marriage. It was far from the worst. She wanted to find somebody to put her on a pedestal and filed for divorce.
More.
Who hates your wife enough to kill her? Nobody I can think of. I mean, I can't think of anybody that hates her. What's wrong with this picture? Your wife lives in an above average neighborhood, upper middle income neighborhood. I know for a fact the houses go from probably 90 to 150,000. Very little happens out there, I know that for a fact. And your wife is shot out of the clear blue as she's going in the garage. Nothing's taken from her. And for no reason. Check her lifestyle. She went out clubbing a lot. Come on. God. You're right. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Yeah. I'll be right back.
Okay, and then so he's basically.
Yeah. What did he say that she wanted the divorce because she wasn't in love, but he was trying to convince her to.
Yeah, like we weren't really like in love, but I mean, we just kind of figured it was just like that's how marriage is. And then the next morning, so he's questioned by the police, and then he gets like released to let go, and then he was very excited to talk to the media the next day. Okay?
Oh.
And this is what he has to say.
Not at all. Never had this before. I didn't get to make any phone calls. I didn't get fed until 2 o'clock. I've been under their detention since 9:30 last night. I was beat. So this has not been a very pleasant experience.
Beat?
Yes, ma'am. You have evidence of that? Probably not. No. I mean, they hit you in chest and kick you in the legs and stuff like that. Who did those? One of the sergeants. The only sergeant that was on duty yesterday morning. I asked for a superior officer, but I didn't get one. I was handcuffed to a chair. I cooperated fully. I was handcuffed tight. My hand was turning blue. I mean, this was pretty ridiculous. And like I said, I'm willing to cooperate fully with everything.
How do you think they believe you did it?
Well, if I got shot, I'm sure Farah would be the suspect for that. I mean, that to me is natural. I was totally understanding about that. I mean, I would suspect myself too if I was doing the investigation. That's only natural. I hope they find the guy soon.
I might poop in his mouth.
He is good looking.
He's really good looking.
He looks like Ken. Barbie and Ken. He looks like the Ken doll.
Yeah.
He's tanned.
Yeah.
He's got a great jawline.
He has a really good jawline.
But he's a total narcissist.
Would you poop in his mouth?
No, still wouldn't.
I wouldn't want him to poop in my mouth, but I'd probably squeeze one. So the investigation into Tara. I'm calling her Tara.
Farah.
Because he called her Farah, and I'm saying Farah, but it's, yeah. So, police were still convinced. They're like, we don't believe him. We think he's lying. We don't like him. But he had an alibi. Okay. So they start following him. And they follow him. He goes to the gym a lot, so they follow him to the gym. And that's where they learn that he's been talking to a bunch of his gym buddies and several of his other friends about how he wants to knock her off. He talking to them about knocking her off, and that he was going to hire someone to do it.
What an idiot. But
then they're like, oh, we didn't take him seriously. We just said he's just talking shit, just like, oh, I'm just venting, or like mad at, I don't know. Guys talk at the gym. I don't know. I'm not a guy and I don't go to a bodybuilding gym. But they didn't think anything about it. They're like, he's just venting, blowing off steam, until she ends up murdered. And they're like, wait a second. Then they go and they talk to people at the church, and the church people are like, yeah, we did remember that he was like leaving a lot, because back then you had a beeper. So they're like, he kept getting up, his beeper kept going off, and he kept going to use the phone.
When he was at church? When
he was at the church. Okay. So then they said that police end up finding a notebook in Bobby's car. The notebook, they found a name and a number, and the name was Mary Gipp. Now, Bobby and Mary were in communication throughout the night. It's not going where you think it's going. They're in communication throughout the night of the murder.
Okay.
Police talk with Mary, and this is when they learn about Joseph Price Dash.
Is he the suspect?
He was an ex-convict who worked out with Bobby at the gym, and he is a former police officer.
Is he a black former police officer?
No.
Where's the black man come in?
He might be the killer. This is what Mary said.
Killer had on blackface.
Mary said, canceled. We're canceled again. Pooh and blackface? No. So, they thought he might be the killer, but they had nothing to go on. Okay.
What?
They were like, they thought Joseph Price might be the killer, but they were like, well, we don't have proof of it. So Joseph is a former cop, and he was rumored to have been known for murder for hire.
Oh.
So they're getting nowhere. They end up, I don't know how this all happens, but they subpoenaed Mary to testify in front of the grand jury. I don't know if they're like threatening her or whatever, but anyways, they were probably like, we're going to blame you for the murder because your name was in the notebook in the car of the blah, blah, blah. You know, she ends up talking.
Of course.
She talked in exchange for immunity.
Smart.
And she said, so her boyfriend, did I say this? Her boyfriend was Joseph Price. Her boyfriend, Mary and Joseph were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay.
Joseph was the ex-cop who was
Mary
known for
and
murder.
Joseph, but
Mary
unlike
and
the Bible.
No.
Nowhere close.
So she said Joseph was hired by Bobby.
Okay.
To set up the murder. And that Joseph hired his 18-year-old neighbor, Howard Guidry.
Who's black?
Guidry, to be the trigger man.
$4,000.
He would get $1,000. Joseph was the driver, was drop off Howard close to the murder scene, would pick him up, and then after he was done, they would use Mary's phone to call Bobby and let him know that it was done.
How much did Bobby pay Joseph? Is there a different amount of money?
There's no amount. We don't know.
I bet it was more, and he just gave the little black kid only $1,000.
Yes, he was probably like $10,000, and the kid, he's like, "I'll give you a little 18. Hey, 18 boy, you want to make $1,000?" Yeah, and this little 18. Oh, just wait, I got him on. I got a whole nother clip for you coming up. So something else that Mary wrote down. Oh, yes, was the serial number of the murder weapon. What? Now, I don't know why this bitch wrote down murder weapon numbers, serial numbers. I couldn't even tell you where to find a serial number on a gun. Don't know, don't care. I don't plan on using one. I mean, I have one, so I'm safe. Never mind. So, this was the same gun that was used to kill Farah. Police end up tracking this weapon back to a purchase of Bobby from like 1982.
No way.
He done had this gun for 14 years. See
so
that
he
math?
gave somebody his own gun to kill his wife. Mary. She was a little DTF.
Not to commit murder.
They might not have put it together if she didn't have that serial number.
Well,
or they wouldn't have been able to tie the gun to Bobby.
He wrote the number in the phone number in the notebook. I mean, it's just all these connections.
This just helps the case, though.
Yes.
Number.
Interestingly enough, the police already had Howard in custody. Howard, the little black boy.
Oh,
I actually was typing
the duck. Howard the duck.
And I called him like Harold and Howard. I don't
think you called him Howard the first time.
I didn't. This is Howard Guidry. Guidry.
Okay.
I even wrote enunciations. So Howard was already in custody with the murder weapon. So he was already in jail because police had just arrested him for a bank robbery.
Come on, Howard. I was going to give you a little bit of a...
So they had the
your
murder
frontal
weapon.
lobe wasn't developed.
He had the murder weapon on him when the police caught him. So he is like cracked like an egg, and he told police everything, and here is the clip. This is great. So let me set the scene. Police have him. He's confessing to this whole thing.
He's got bank money and a murder weapon.
Let me show you exactly where it was, and let me actually walk you through the steps that I took.
How did he get in the house? Is he going to tell us?
He's going to tell you everything. Oh, Lord.
Whenever I was finished, when you were finished, what are you referring to when you finished? Whenever I killed the girl, calling, he'll be waiting by this phone. And
got payphones in the garage?
That's basically it for here. But he called Bob, and Bob was at church with his children.
Where'd you get the pistol from?
From Joe. I got the pistol from Joe.
Joseph.
Howard, just like before, I'd like for to read this to you. Tell me that you understand everything. You have the right to remain silent and not make any statement at all, that any statement you make may be used against you and probably will be used against you at your trial. Do you understand that?
Most likely.
Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. Do you understand that? Yes, sir. You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to and during any questioning. You understand that? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Do you wish to talk to us? Yes, sir. Okay.
I was dropped here about between 5:30, 6, sometimes between there. And from here, I went across. Like I walked.
Sure, let's walk.
And I walked up to right here. And I stood right here, 38 in my hand. And I waited for somebody to come to the door, but nobody came, but I heard noises. So I creeped around like this, and I checked the door, but it was locked from the outside. And I had the gun in my hand. When she did like this, I pulled the gun up and I shot her once in the head. And she like fell to the side, or slumped to the side. And I started to run out. And as I started to run out, she wasn't really dead. So I turned around, and I closed my eyes, and I shot her one more time in the head.
Wow.
So if you didn't hear it, he just basically said where he was.
Yeah.
And then he shot her. I guess he wasn't inside the house then because he tried to get in.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up, he just basically explained it.
Yeah.
And he was at the scene. I don't know why they had payphones in their garage, but they did. Turns out Bobby had approached at least 7 different people.
Oh, Bobby.
Asking him to murder his wife. Like, bro, can you kill my wife? Like, can you kill my wife? Can you kill my wife? You get a car, and you get a car, and you
Can you spot me? Like, everybody that spots him at the gym. Can you kill my wife?
Yeah. Hey. Let me bench press. Like, what? Like, no big deal. Just asking. So, April, it's not a perfect murder story if we don't have someone taking out a life insurance policy.
Oh, of course.
So, just a few days before that.
Oh, days.
He took out a $250,000 life insurance policy.
Well, that is a lot. I mean, it's a lot of money, but that's a lot of money back then.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's
probably like
$1
$1 million.
much.
It's like $1 million, I think. So it took about 6 months. And was that 6 months? Oh, yes. Joseph.
Yeah.
Was arrested.
Okay.
That's Mary's boyfriend.
Yes.
Joseph is arrested. And he confessed.
Okay.
Then Bobby was arrested, but he wasn't as talkative, and he was saying he was innocent. He's like, I didn't kill my wife. I didn't have anybody kill my wife. Nothing. They go to trial. Oh, what he did say was he didn't do it, and his handcuffs were too tight.
2 things.
Okay. So then you have all 3 of them. You have Bobby, Joseph, and Howard. They were all guilty of murder. They were all sentenced to death.
What?
Yes. To death.
All of them.
They were found guilty, sentenced to death. The jury came back during Bobby's trial, they came back with the verdict in 50 minutes. Okay?
Wow.
But.
Oh, I don't like a but.
Well, Bobby did.
He loved butts.
Of course, it does it in there because 13 years later, the
overturned
judge threw out Bobby's conviction because Joseph and Howard withdrew their confession.
What? How do you renege 13 years
That's
later?
Racist. So they said they were coerced into their confessions, but both of their confessions were still allowed into evidence for the next trial. So then in 2009, when Bobby went on trial again, he was found guilty again and sentenced to death again. And they were still all 3 sentenced to death.
So they just wasted taxpayer money.
That's what they always do.
So every criminal that says, "Oh, just joke," if Jeffrey Dahmer says, "I erase all those confession tapes. I didn't really confess. They coerced me." We got to retry him.
Yeah.
If he wasn't dead.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe in heaven.
Shit. Canceled twice. Can you be canceled more than 3 times in one episode? Oh, but guess what? But he appealed it.
Jeffrey?
Bobby.
Oh.
She just got real.
Anytime I bring up Jeffrey, my mind goes to Jeffrey.
I know. You got real
sidetracked.
Like
obsessed.
Penis erection with Jeffrey Dahmer. But guess what?
He appealed.
His
Okay.
appeal was denied.
Good.
And he continued to profess his innocence until January 2023.
What? That's how you found it. Only because it came up in the news the other day.
And his death sentence was carried out.
Oh, he was put to death.
And he received the lethal injection at 7:25 p.m. I don't know the exact date. And he died 24 minutes later.
Wow.
He had no final statements, no acknowledgments to the victims, to the witnesses. His son was there. He said nothing to his son. He had no words. Bobby was 65.
Wow.
Joseph and Howard remain on death row. And the lesson of the story? Don't have the nastiest, shittiest kink ever. And you probably don't plan to kill anyone.
Man, you know what's crazy? Okay. Howard, 18 years old, got death. In our story last week, they were scared to try to give him death because he was 18, so young, that they were afraid for it to get overturned. So I guess it just depends on the prosecution and how big their balls
state
are.
was it?
Corpus Christi, Texas. Yeah. And it was in the 90s.
It's so
and
weird
it was
because
2014.
That's like with Aiden Fucci, like he just stabbed somebody all by himself, brutally stabbed.
Capital murder. Oh, life. He got life.
No.
With parole.
Did he get life?
I don't remember. I thought he got life.
He got
because he can get out, right?
Yes, I think that's the point. Is they don't have the death penalty in Florida. No, they do. Because they do have the death penalty, but he didn't get. I guess he was probably too young.
He was.
He was like 16.
Oh,
So-
and that was the one you said that they didn't want. You can't give a kid the death penalty,
right?
So that's why he didn't get the death penalty.
Yeah,
a minor. He can't give a minor death penalty.
Speaking of prisons and penalties and stuff, I'm sidetracking.
Was he in Huntsville? At that
Yes.
prison?
Yes.
Oh.
He did do one other interview. I was like, I don't want to play too much. But yes, he did do another interview, and he was like, I'm not gonna be done in Huntsville. No, it's not. I'm not dying. He was convinced he was not going to be put to death. Did you see?
I want to see what he looked like when he at 65.
Oh, he looked so bad. I'll show you. Did you see or did you hear about what was it? Did you hear about the Delphi Richard Allen? He is the person that is accused of murdering Abby and Libby, the Delphi murders. They're 2 young girls. They're on the bridge.
Yeah.
He was arrested. They're This is why they don't need to delay the trial. Just do the trial. And then he doesn't have to suffer in jail this whole time. But apparently the jail is overcrowded, so he's been in this maximum security, like the worst of the worst prisons. And he's been in this like 10 by 10 room. He's lost like all this weight. He's apparently going through the psychosis. Like he's been beat. He's been peed on. He's been like everything. And you can
visually see
describing it as a prisoner of war. Like they're saying it's that bad, which I just think that's unfair. We don't know if. I think nowadays you're guilty until proved innocent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even more so than, like, yeah. It just
yeah.
It's good. It's real bad. But I get if you're being treated that way if you are a child killer. But you're
how
not,
do we know yet?
You're not yet.
You haven't been tried.
Literally have the gun, the bullet shaving or whatever they have. The proof is it's very small as far as we know. We don't know that much, but I think that's real shitty, and they need to put him. You got to be in protective custody. Like, you got to be protected.
Yeah.
You got to be able to stand trial. Like, he's like, they're like, we're worried that he's
not going to be competent to stand trial.
Not going to be competent, and he's going to be dead.
Wow.
It's really bad. It's really bad. But I had to say that because I forgot that earlier. I'll show you.
Great story. Great story. Y'all got Texas 2 times in a row. You're welcome. You're welcome. And we will see y'all next week for a quickie, and then for a full episode. We'll most likely be going to New Orleans.
Oh, here we go. I'm ready for it.
Sharing up this episode with 5 friends, and then rate, review, and subscribe. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF, and don't ever poop in your spouse's mouth. Bye.
Always write down the serial numbers of every gun you touch.
Please.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.